We have been lucky enough to have been invited out to Selle Italia, one of the world's oldest cycling companies, to learn about a design classic, one of the saddles that changed cycling, the Flite. But to appreciate the Flite and understand where it all came from, we have to go back to where it all started. At the Selle Italia HQ, they have this amazing museum full of history of the company, from the very first saddle to the latest. A company with a rich heritage and one of the oldest cycling companies in the world began making saddles in 1897, and the name literally means Italian saddles. These are actually some of the original presses used to shape the leather and bend the rails, and some of the original metal stamps to imprint the logo on the saddles. Over the years, Selle Italia have continued to innovate and produce saddles for all kinds of cyclists, including the world's greatest athletes and champions. The designs of the saddles evolved over the years, which led to the design of the turbo. Now, it's a beautiful looking saddle, but by modern day standards, it still looks pretty retro, with the rails covered and still made from leather and steel. The turbo was used in the 80s, notably by Bernard Hinault, the last Frenchman to win the Tour. Back then, cyclists were as weight conscious about their bikes as they are now. Some things never change, and Selle Italia decided to push the boundaries and go in some search of some gains. And in 1990, they created the Flite. When it was launched, the Flite was cutting edge. No one had ever seen anything like it, featuring light titanium rails, a light synthetic upper, and the rails were now visible, bringing it to a weight of 230 grams. And the modern saddle we see today was born. Prior to this, saddles had extra material covering the sides and the rails. This wasn't really needed as it added weight, and it could rub on the inside of your leg. And that extra material actually made the middle of the saddle a lot harder, which isn't really what you want when your soft tissue parts are sat on that bit of the saddle. Removing it and exposing it may sound obvious now, but it wasn't back then, and pretty much every saddle since has followed in its path. After the first edition in 1990, there have been 3 generations of the Flite saddles. The next one came in 2007. In 2013 came the Flite Flow saddle that had a cutout, something which has become increasingly popular. And we forget that they haven't been around that long. The shell construction and rails have evolved. We now have carbon fibre, making it lighter and stronger. The shape has been tweaked and refined as ergonomic research has developed with the help of ID Match. The 2020 version of the saddle, keeping that cutout shape, is the lightest yet, coming in at a weight of 162 grams. It's lost a lot of weight from the very first version that came out that weighed 230 grams. Not only that, but the logo has changed too. As a professional cyclist, you're lucky enough to ride some amazing equipment, but most of it gets picked for you, like the bike brand and the clothing, for example. But one thing you do get to pick is your saddle, as it is a crucial part to comfort on the bike. And it really does say a lot when you see all of these amazing champions that have ridden Selle Italia saddles. There are so many cool custom saddles here, and you know you've made it when you've got a custom saddle, and some of them are actually hand stitched. So you've got Pantani's saddle here that has been hand stitched. He's got a pirate on there and his name, and this is actually a Flite saddle as well. And you wouldn't want to take this out on a muddy training ride or a race, would you? You'd want to keep this for a really nice occasion. Also got Cipollini's saddle here with a Lion King, all hand stitched as well, and really nice. Even the rails, they just look beautiful, don't they? And then moving to the more modern saddles, you've got Viviani's European custom saddle here with the stars on. And then probably the most modern one they have is actually Mathieu van der Poel's Flite saddle with the World Championship stripes on and his initials. And to have your initials on a saddle, that's pretty cool. Van der Poel actually helped develop the latest version of the Flite saddle, and he rode the World Championships on the prototype version and won. According to Selle Italia, the new Flite is unisex, which is good to know, but because saddle choice is so personal, they have made quite a variety of different options. The saddle comes in two different widths, 135mm and 144, depending on the width of your basically on the width of your sit bones. You then have a choice of a Flite without a cutout or the Superflow with a cutout. Now, the Superflow cutouts are really good if you want to get a low aggressive position. You then have a choice of three different rails. You've got the manganese rail, then a slightly lighter titanium, and then the carbon rail. And that brings us right up to date with the latest Flite saddle, a saddle that is developed, tested and assembled here in the heart of Italy and continues to be ridden by the world's very best. What's clear is that even for a company with a back catalogue of designs, they're not standing still. They continue to develop, innovate and improve saddle designs. But how will they evolve in the future? I have no idea, but I look forward to finding out. I hope you enjoyed this video on my favourite bit of tech. If you did enjoy, then please give it a big thumbs up and let us know what your favourite saddle is in the comment section below. Now, I'm off to find some pizza. Ciao!